So I don't see anybody reporting on this. There's been an update in the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds versus Wayfarer Studios and Justin Baldoni case. By the way, if you're not following this case and you are not in it, you can just keep scrolling. You don't have to leave a comment. You don't need to express yourself. Not everything on the internet needs to be for you.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have always been Hollywood royalty. Charming, witty, and seemingly untouchable. Yet now they're waging a legal battle against Wayfarer Studios that grows more complex by the day. Rumors of hidden agendas, explosive evidence, and cameo appearances from other celebrities have turned a simple court case into a multi-layered spectacle. Could this dispute reveal a darker side of fame and power, or is it destined to fade as just another overhyped Hollywood clash? As intrigue deepens, both the entertainment industry and fans worldwide hold their breath, waiting to see whether this will end with a bang or a whimper. Everything began when Blake Lively filed suit against Wayfarer Studios, alleging unacceptable contract violations and behavior she couldn't ignore. Despite the usual skepticism that greets celebrity lawsuits, many rallied behind her. After all, Lively wasn't typically known for controversy, and the idea of a beloved star facing a shady production company seemed all too plausible. Wayfarer Studios, however, met these accusations head-on. They countered with their own lawsuit, brandishing what they called smoking gun evidence that would disprove Lively's claims. Overnight, it went from a straightforward filing to a courtroom roller coaster. Fans wondered if Lively and husband Ryan Reynolds were in over their heads, or if Wayfarer was simply throwing up a smokescreen. Either way, it was now a legal firefight, with two powerful sides determined to prove the other wrong. Tension soared when internet sleuths noticed a puzzling detail in Wayfarer's counter-complaint, a reference to a New York Times article that allegedly damaged Wayfarer's reputation. According to the studio, Lively's team had timed or even engineered the piece to align with her lawsuit, inflicting the maximum possible harm. If that accusation held water, it would suggest not just a business spat, but a calculated media takedown orchestrated by Lively and Reynolds. Naturally, public interest exploded. Was the article part of a bigger plan, or were the studio's claims overblown? For some, Wayfarer's complaint hinted at a deeper, strategic narrative in which the stars might be pulling strings behind the scenes. Yet others remained confident that Lively had a legitimate reason to blow the whistle, and that Wayfarer was spinning a paranoid theory to save face. Soon after Wayfarer's revised complaint surfaced, Lively and Reynolds requested a substantial deadline extension to respond. While such requests aren't unheard of, the number of extra weeks they wanted raised a few eyebrows. Critics asked, if they had ironclad proof, wouldn't they be eager to show it sooner? Wayfarer's lawyers pounced, labeling the request a stalling tactic. To them, it was a classic sign that the couple's legal claims lacked punch. Judge Lehman's response was swift. Instead of granting Lively and Reynolds the weeks they sought, the court gave them only a single extra day, practically a legal slap on the wrist. That minimal concession hinted the judge wasn't convinced they truly needed a prolonged delay. Almost overnight, speculation intensified that Lively and Reynolds might be scrambling behind the scenes for evidence or allies to reinforce their position. Further complicating matters was a since-deleted TikTok video from someone who claimed they were approached to join the lawsuit. Allegedly, Lively and Reynolds' legal camp was seeking other individuals willing to testify against Wayfarer, painting the studio as systematically problematic. The tactic makes sense. Multiple complainants can lend weight to accusations. But it can also look like desperation if those individuals are reluctant to get involved. No one wants to be swept into a high-profile dispute, pitting a beloved celebrity couple against a well-funded studio. The risks of public scrutiny, backlash, and legal fees can be enormous. If Lively and Reynolds were indeed recruiting, it underscored just how critical additional testimony might be to proving their case, or how worried they were that their current evidence wouldn't suffice. In a twist no one saw coming, the rumor mill started buzzing about Taylor Swift's name appearing in connection with the lawsuit. It's long been known that Swift is close friends with Lively and Reynolds, so some speculated she might possess key information, whether a text thread, an overheard conversation, or casual remarks about Wayfarer. Suddenly, theories emerged that Swift could be subpoenaed as a material witness. Swift, usually candid with fans, stayed uncharacteristically quiet as she was spotted dodging cameras at major events. Some believed she wanted to avoid on-the-spot questions. Others suspected her team might be fending off a legal summons. Regardless, once Taylor Swift is mentioned in any controversy, attention soars. The idea of her being forced to testify brought a whole new layer of celebrity drama to an already complicated case. Not long after Swift's rumored involvement made headlines, someone claiming to be Ryan Reynolds' former teacher stepped forward, sharing anecdotes from his youth. According to this individual, Ryan was a mischievous kid who constantly pushed boundaries. Though typical teenage antics hardly define a person's adult character, some saw this revelation as a strategic move to chip away at Ryan's clean-cut public image. The teacher's story might be irrelevant in a legal sense, yet it highlights how personal details, even from decades earlier, can become weapons when celebrity reputations hang in the balance. Whether the teacher came forward voluntarily or was urged to speak up is unclear. Either way, the personal angle added another bizarre layer to a lawsuit already saturated with surprising twists. For some observers, the real showstopper was Judge Lehman's curtness in granting only a tiny extension. Courts often allow more generous time windows in complex cases, so the one-day limit prompted speculation. Was the judge signaling frustration at repeated motions? Or was there a sense that Lively and Reynolds might be playing games?
A lot of us are very invested. Okay, so interestingly enough, yesterday, Blake Lively's team filed essentially asking the judge for an extension to file their amendment. Okay, so just to slow that down for you, Blake Lively sued Wayfarer Studios. They then countersued them and were basically like, you guys are terrible. Here are the messages to prove it.
Wayfarer's attorneys seized on this momentum, suggesting it further exposed weaknesses in the couple's lawsuit. From the public's perspective, the judge's ruling underscored that there would be no coddling of big-name stars. If Lively and Reynolds harbored illusions of a leisurely legal process, that notion was quickly dispelled. They would need to produce compelling evidence, and soon, or risk having their claims dismissed as hype. Early on, the public leaned toward supporting Lively and Reynolds. Their wholesome reputations and comedic banter made them fan favorites. But with each new development, especially rumors about stalling tactics or attempts to recruit co-plaintiffs, some fans began questioning the lawsuit's strength. Meanwhile, Wayfarer worked to appear transparent and unafraid, insisting the couple's claims were baseless. Social media platforms lit up with debates. Some insisted the stars must have legitimate grievances to file something so public. Others pointed out that without concrete proof, even famous names can face setbacks. The longer the couple delayed unveiling their final evidence, the more uncertainty crept in. While a core group still firmly believes the couple is in the right, cracks in public support started to appear, particularly among those wary of potential PR stunts. Behind the scenes, Hollywood insiders were paying careful attention. For production companies, reputation is everything. If Wayfarer were found guilty of serious misconduct, top-tier talent might hesitate to work with them. Conversely, if Lively and Reynolds' claims are proven shaky, it sends a clear message that not even big stars can intimidate studios without concrete evidence. Industry whispers also suggest both sides might be considering quiet settlements, one of the most common resolutions in high-stakes legal disputes. Settlements often come with strict confidentiality clauses, leaving the public guessing about what really happened. If the evidence on either side seems insufficient for a guaranteed court victory, cutting a deal away from prying eyes might start to look appealing. The biggest wildcard remains the final form of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' amended complaint, now due under the judge's watchful deadline. Fans and critics alike wait to see if they'll drop a proverbial bombshell, previously unseen documents, or a parade of credible witnesses. If so, it could vindicate the couple overnight, painting Wayfarer as the true villain. On the flip side, if the new filing is more of the same, lacking solid evidence or dramatic new claims, people might conclude the lawsuit never had the substance the couple implied. They risk a wave of backlash, with cynics branding the entire ordeal as an overhyped fiasco. The stark reality is that both Lively and Reynolds have gambled their reputations on this. If they don't deliver convincing proof now, the entire narrative might collapse. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift's rumored role as a potential witness looms. If she were forced to speak under oath about something she observed, the media spectacle would explode. Swift's own fans fear any association with a messy lawsuit could overshadow her music and philanthropic work, not to mention open up her private circles to invasive legal scrutiny. While there's no confirmation Swift will be deposed, her name alone has added a pop cultural spark that keeps this story front and center. Some suggest she might prefer a strategic settlement over seeing a personal friend's drama spill into her own brand. Swift's reticence only fuels the rumors, leaving everyone wondering if she's quietly taking steps to shield herself from a legal spectacle she never signed up for.
And then Wayfarer Studios team essentially amended their complaint to include all of the stuff that us internet sleuths found about the New York Times, essentially showing that this article was a part of some larger scheme.
With the amended complaint pending, both sides might be running out of time and patience. If Lively and Reynolds do have bulletproof evidence, they'll want to present it soon, shutting down skeptics before public sentiment shifts any further. If they lack conclusive proof, they could angle for a discreet deal that prevents deeper embarrassment. Wayfarer 2 has to weigh reputational risks. If the couple has something truly damaging, the studio might be better off negotiating than risking a trial. A surprise settlement wouldn't shock observers. In Hollywood, many a sensational court battle concludes with confidential payouts and sealed documents. Sometimes both parties prefer to sidestep a public verdict, especially if the process could unearth skeletons they'd rather keep hidden. But if neither side flinches, the case could move toward a climactic courtroom showdown that every media outlet would rush to cover. The saga of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds versus Wayfarer Studios has already transcended typical Hollywood disputes. Accusations of media manipulation, frantic extensions, rumored witness recruitment, and cameo appearances by superstars like Taylor Swift have turned it into a blockbuster in its own right. Now, the final act hinges on whether the couple can substantiate their claims, or whether the studio will prove it was unfairly targeted. Whatever happens next, the outcome will resonate far beyond this single courtroom. If Lively and Reynolds are vindicated, it may set a precedent that no studio is too powerful to be called out. But if their evidence falls short, even sympathetic fans might feel misled, tarnishing a beloved image that took years to build. For now, everyone waits for that next crucial filing. The moment we'll finally learn if there's a shocking secret behind the scenes or just a tempest in a teapot. In a place where image is currency, the stakes couldn't be higher. Each day until the deadline feels like a drum roll, a tense countdown to what might be the biggest reveal of the year. Will Lively and Reynolds deliver a game-changing knockout punch, or will they quietly seek an exit before the case unravels? One thing is certain, when the gavel falls, the ripples will shape Hollywood's landscape and the couple's legacy long after the final documents are filed.